Hi everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel. This is a walkthrough video to share with you this album that I created following my own tutorial that will be up in the next week or so on my channel. The tutorial's in a different paper, but I want to share this album with you. It's a beautiful um, memorial type album for someone special that you may have lost, and this paper collection is still available at Country Craft Creations. It's by Simple Stories and it's called Remember. So stay tuned for the walkthrough. Okay, so I kept this really simple. I didn't put any kind of tie closure on this. I used this beautiful pattern here from the collection and kind of triple layered with printed paper and the natural cardstock from Country Craft Creations and the craft cardstock. This is a element piece from the Bigs. I think it's called Big Bits or something like that. I'll link it down below. This is all from the collection called Remember by Simple Stories. And as I said earlier, it's still available in the Country Craft Creations online store. I've had this for several months. I ordered it, thought it was beautiful. I just hadn't decided what to make with it. And then when I designed this particular album, which I will have a tutorial for, I decided to use this on the second album that I made using that same uh, design. So this is a sticker that says remember. I thought it was really pretty on here. Kind of, this keeps it all flat. There's no flowers on here, so it opens up really easy to look through. On the spine, I matched the front pattern paper. In the back, I used this print and a large on the Bigs elements, and then also a Forever and Ever sticker there on the butterfly. So I love how it's turned out. So when you open it up, now this is a really good size. This album is a, let me grab a ruler. Um, I've made it and I forgot, I think 8 by 10. So it's a good size album, but it only has one page set in it, and it's really unique with a lot of flaps and pockets and things in it. So here on the inside cover, you could consider this like a page or an element section. You have a frame that you can replace the image that's in here, which I did do it sideways because I wanted this, and they didn't have a 4x6 that went vertical or whatever that is. They just had the landscape ones, so I wanted portrait. But I think the flowers and the butterflies this way is fine. Let me hold it up so you can see the glare. Plus, you're going to replace it probably with a photo of your loved ones. So then this flap opens up. You could put a photo here and in here, some journaling. And in the pocket here, you have a large photo mat, and you could put more than one. I just did one. I did a place here for some photos and here. So you can put photos over the printed paper. So that just slides in, and this collection did come with some tabs, so I like that, so that you can see that you pull that out. And this page over here, this is the start of the main page. It does have a tuck spot, a little narrow pocket, and inside there I've made some booklets. This one just kind of like got a secret little closure here. It opens up, flips open like that, so you could add photos in there. I love how that is designed where you can just tuck your tuck this element in underneath. You just have to be careful getting it under there, just like that. So that tucks in there. And then I made this booklet here for other photos. Put some photo mats in there. Used a lot of the scraps of paper and the different elements. And then this flap opens, and so there's still more room for photos, different mats and things. I put cardstock on the back of that one so you can mat a photo. And this just tucks in and holds that flap closed. And then underneath the flap is another pocket. So I have some of the journaling items in there. I love that typewriter. You could put more photo mats if you wanted to. And then, of course, here's a place for a photo. And then it has a pocket here. And inside there, I did this big photo mat type tag. This comes with the collection. Tied some twine on it. And then this is a place for photos here, and on the printed one. So again, this is a pocket that's got plenty of room. You could put more than one of these large photo mats in there if you wanted to. So let's tuck that back in real quick. Okay, and you've opened this back, and then on this back side of it, we have a large belly band where you could put photos, and then it has this photo mat booklet that comes out. So we have photo areas here. You could do some on the back. This is held in with the magnet, just like that. So you can just kind of position it wherever you want on the page. This side we have a flip up. I love these big elements that come with this collection that you can order separately. This comes up, so I have a photo place here. And then here we have, you could do a photo in here if you wanted to. And then this flap also lifts up, photo place here. And then we have the freestyle waterfalls, or left blank on the back side. You could do it on the front and the back. You could add photos there. And then since this is the base page, we have this photo pocket sleeve. And so I added some photo mats here. These are the rub-ons that come that you can order that match the collection. I absolutely love the rub-ons. It just is nice and flat and beautiful. There's two stickers here, and this is a rub-on. So it's just so, so pretty like that. And then all of this is a rub-on. It's 3 different pieces of the rub-on set, as well as this down here with the forever and always. Love you forever, and then forever and always. So that just slides into that page sleeve pocket. And that tag kind of sticks out. And then on the back side of that, I have this little add-on pocket. This is not in the tutorial. This is just something I did while I was decorating because I wanted to add this little piece here that opens like that. Lots of the elements and like that. Used a lot of scraps to just make some fun places to tuck things, like in there. These are all some of the elements and tags. Beautiful, beautiful images in this collection. And I love the colors. So if you haven't checked it out, do so over at Country Craft Creations before it's all gone. You know, you don't want to wait and then it's gone. This is a rub-on here. And then that closes up. I have elements back here. And then this, I just did a little slip-on tie type closure here. You can just untie it if you wanted to and double wrap it around, or just slide it on like I'm attempting to do. It does slide on. There we go. And then that just tucks in that pocket. And then also in this, I have this large tag I made out of some scraps. This tag that comes with the collection, one of the elements. This booklet here, it has also got a unique tuck-in closure behind that frame. Opens it up, lots of places for photos. You could do the smaller ones that would hold 6 there. This closes up. This just tucks in behind, and all the pretty elements back there. And then this flap lifts up, so you could add journaling in here, small photos across if you wanted to, and then a photo here or some journaling. So that's held closed with the all these booklets and tags. So it goes down in here. But then this piece here is held with a magnet. When you open this up, photo mat here, a place for journaling, photo mat, photo mat, photo mat. Photos can go in here. You could also put photos on the front side where the patterned paper is. Very, very pretty. And then here on the inside cover, I used some of the chipboard elements here. Did I tell you that was chipboard? I didn't use it on the other side, just here. Nice place for a photo if you wanted to, as well as on the back. This flap opens up, and we have all these photo mats in here. And still we have the pretty paper to look at, and then this is like the stamp says hope. So that is what this album looks like using the Simple Stories Remember paper collection. As I said, the tutorial will be with a different paper collection. It is going to be done in the Country Craft Creations Pooh's Adventures with Friends simply adorable. The two look completely different, but both have the same design, so I think you enjoy it. I'll have the tutorial series on my channel as soon as I can, and I'll do a separate walkthrough of the Pooh album. So thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click the bell so you'll be notified when my next video is uploaded. And that way you won't miss out on the tutorial for this. And always shop at countrycraftcreations.com for your paper crafting supplies. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. So while I was working on this album, adding the pattern papers and decorating and stuff, I thought I would show you a little bonus tutorial, I guess you might call it, on how I make some of my inserts out of the scraps that I have. So I can't really give you the measurements because it just depends on your scraps and what you have. Now remember, this album is going to be a tutorial using the Pooh's Adventures with Friends by Country Craft Creations, the base of the album and everything. This is the second one I've made, or the prototype one that I've made with some corrections and things in it that I was just doing on a walkthrough. But this is just a little add-in tutorial I thought I would add into this walkthrough to show you how I make some of my inserts. So these are not in the tutorial of this particular album because the papers are different and my scraps are different. But this is how sometimes I do this. I added this little pocket. This was an extra thing. So I made it to fit this booklet by just wrapping it around, and then I scored it. But the unscored size is 4.5 by 3, ½ inch on 3 sides. And then I glued that down and added a scrap of patterned paper. I love how it turned out, this little pocket, so that it can hold this little booklet that I made. So this is held closed with a jute string. You can either untie it, it's a double one, or just slide it off. That should work fine. Just slide it off. And it's all little bits and pieces. So this is like an element, and this is from a sticker sheet, this little strip of gingham here. Then I added a piece of patterned paper that I rounded the corners. I made like a little booklet here. This is a rub-on. I love the rub-ons in this collection. Here's some more of the elements here. So it's just cardstock and pieces of paper to make the pockets. It's a rub-on there. I just think they're really pretty, the rub-ons. And then I just inserted some of my bits and pieces from the collection into this pocket here. So it's really easy to make. I just like to use different bits and pieces of paper and fold things over. So this one may not turn out like this one did. This one I just made on a whim, and then I thought, well, maybe I should show everyone how you can just take your scraps, sit and play with it, and add some fun elements into your album like that. So this one just tucks in like that. So this one here is just a big one. Now, I made a unique closure on this one, so I'll tell you a little bit about this one. This one was a full sheet of paper, and the height of this one was 7. So I just folded it and then folded it so that it's offset. Rounded the corners on this one. Then I started adding my patterned paper, pieced it even on the back. I used cardstock in the center, kept it plain. And then I wanted a closure. So I took one of the tag pieces, or the bits and pieces, and just glued it on the back, folded it over, left it where it's long enough to stick out. Then I glued like a pocket type, one of the cut aparts or the elements bits pieces. I layered a bunch of pieces on top. But this is open where you can just slide that little bit of that flower in there like that. And then, of course, I glued some more layering here, some of the bits and pieces, which I have all of them stacked up here that I purchased for this collection. So that's a booklet, and that helps hold this flap closed in this album. And this is just a scrap of the cardstock. It's 3.5 by 7 1/8 or so. Scrap of the paper, just left it like that, and that just tucks in behind there, and it adds to the album. So let's make one for maybe a different pocket over here. I'll decide where it goes, if it goes. So this is a scrap that I grabbed, and it is just 7 7/8 by 3.5. It's going to make a little one, and I'm just going to fold it a little over halfway because I want a flap on it. And I just take my bone folder, press it down in the center, and press out while I hold it down. You could use a scoreboard, but it's not necessary. So now we have that section there. So this one is going to fold over. Same thing, just press it down. So it could be, you know, a scrap of your paper, any height you want it to be. It could be small. And then I'm going to round the corners on the smaller flap. Oh, first you got to get it in right. There we go. A little more even here. This is kind of rough there on the edge. I'm just going to snip that off, that little nub that's sticking out there a little bit. Don't want that on there. Make it even. Okay. Okay, so there we got all that. So that's our little base of our little booklet. So then we're going to add some pattern paper. I'm going to try to keep this one not as thick, so I'm not going to add all those wraparound pieces. So I'll just have some scraps here that I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to put this green one. That's kind of pretty there, like that. So I need a piece. It's about 3 3/8 by 1 7/8. 3 3/8 by 1 7/8. So let me get my trimmer here. 3 3/8. Cut this branding strip off. There we go. Sometimes it helps to cut the branding, all of it off. Okay. What did I say? 3 3/8. Right there. By 1 7/8, right? Double check. Yeah. 1 7/8. So cut it from this way. Might be just about the right size. Looks like it is. So that's going to fit on there around those corners. Let me check my headphone. I don't think I put the right one on. So I probably sounded funny. Let's switch. Go. Sound better? Okay, sorry about that. So this one's going to glue right there. And of course, if you want to do inking, you can do that first. So I'm going to use my little glue bottle on smaller things. Sometimes I like to just use the smaller one, which I have filled with the art glitter glue up. So just line that up. So there's the front. Was going to use that green, but I like that. I love the flowers in this collection. So now we need this piece here. Is we're going to make that 2 3/4 by 3 3 3/8. So let's see what we got here. So 2 3/4. All of these are just scraps that I have laying after I've done all my patterning. And I cannot remember. That's right. 3 3/8. So that goes there. Glue that one on. So these are fun to make, to just like tuck in your album pockets that you're working on, or you could use them separately for like what they call flat mail, if you want to send someone a little gift card or just thinking of you, like a cute little something that you've made that can go in the mail if you keep it flat enough. That's the key. You got to keep it flat enough. So let's make sure we put something here on the back. So let's make it 2 3/4. Cut the length first. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. It's the same size, eh? 3 3/4 and 2 3/4. Oh, I didn't cut that right. That one right, pretty much. My length is wrong. 3 3/8. Okay, so that just glues on the back. So like you don't have to use your scoreboard or anything, just, fold and take the scraps and have fun with it. Just make something pretty out of it. You can mix it all up. Okay, so there's that one. So that's the front sides. Now we have the inside. Of course, we can use some of the craft in there. If you want to do photo mats, that would be kind of cool in there. And then we have this one here. Oh, I like the butterflies. It's not quite tall enough. So let's go with this piece. So that was the 3 3/8 tall, same height. Should write that down, make it easier. 3 3/8 by, same as that front one was, 1 7/8. Okay, so that's going to fit right there. Of course, we went around the corners. And that one glues in there. And now we're ready to add mats here out of the cardstock, the craft cardstock, if I have scraps of that. If you want to, you could put patterned paper, whatever you want to put in there. Okay, so there's that. So let's get my little mats for that. And then we'll make, do some decorating with this, see what kind of pieces I have to go with that. So hang on for just a second. Okay, so I got 2 scraps, or 1 scrap of the craft cardstock, and I was able to cut 2 pieces out of that to fit. So these can be little photo mats if that's what you want, or journaling. One here, and they were the same size as the pattern paper that I cut. So you would measure whatever your section you're covering, and I always cut mine 1/8 of an inch shorter in width and height. So that's how I determine. Of course, you can leave the margin that you want. There's nothing wrong with having a wider margin if that's what you like. Okay, so there's the mats there. Still like those butterflies, but I don't think, I could put that right here. Well, that just fits. I'm going to do that. It's a scrap. Don't want to throw it away. So I'm just going to, you can still put a photo over it if you wanted to. And so when you're using scraps from the same collection, it doesn't matter. You can just mix and match and put them all in there, and they're all pretty. Turns out really, really nice. So there's that one. So now I'm going to look at my different pieces to see what I might want to layer on it. It's kind of cool, that little tabby. That. Already got that flower there. So if I want to wrap piece around like I did that other one and tuck it in as a closure. So that might work. So that eliminates that. And I could use a scrap of paper. Here. It's kind of like a label thing. Maybe that would work. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue just on the end, thin line of glue on each short end. And I know this looks kind of plain, but I'll probably add something to it. So we'll see how this turns out. And along one long bottom edge, long edge. And I'm going to just kind of stick it in here over the top of that flower. Just like that. Wipe off any excess glue that pushes out. Okay, so now this is going to be the piece that goes in for the closure. Let's see if we can make this. And sometimes if I get too much glue in there, you know what? I'm going to just open that up, I think. So just glue on something like this where it's long and skinny. Just put glue on the two short ends. I think that will work better. Than this can stick all the way through like that. Turn it a little bit. And okay, so now we have it sticking out, and I'm going to just fold it to the back. And yes, some of it's sticking out, and I will just snip that off. Just like that. And this piece back here, I'm going to hold it on. The fold is on there, and I put glue on the whole back piece. Right along the edge, and keep it in place again, and press it down on the back. So now we have it tucked in like that, and we can bring it out. Pull it out a little bit to open up our little booklet. Okay, so I'll clean up any glue that's here on the edge. Don't want that. There we go. Okay, so when I tuck this in, you do have to bend it just a little bit, not a whole lot. Kind of poke it in there, just like that, and press down. So now I'm going to put some things here on this, but I'm going to leave this out, so I don't want to glue that in. So I'm going to see what we've got. It might go. I think I'm out of my butterflies, but kind of like that. I don't typically think about it a whole lot. If I like it, I just use it. If I have to think too long, then I probably won't do it. But like I said, if you're using pieces that come with the collection, then that's usually going to be okay. Like that flower on top. I'm going to look at my stickers too. And I apologize if you hear the lawnmowers and weed eating. It's that time of the day when it's got to be done. When it's a little bit cooler outside, so we're going to hear that a lot. So make sure I didn't go over that line right there. Whoops. Okay, I don't want that tacked down. So be sure you keep it open if you want it opened. And I like that flower there, so I'm just going to do it on the center. So just keep kind of stacking things on till I like it like that. And then this is just going to tuck in. Make sure that I keep this open under here. And just it's kind of strange with this little piece here, but they're pretty sturdy. It's going to work just fine like that. And then you got it holding. So it's just a unique, different look. If you didn't want to do the tuck thing, you could do your wraparound string piece. I'm just trying to keep it really flat. So that's what that one looks like. That's just how you make them real quick and easy with all your bits and pieces you have. And then I'm going to flip it to the back over here. I have this tuck spot, so I was wanting to make something to kind of tuck in there to hold this pocket down. So I kind of like that. Okay, so there you go.